What is going on, guys? So patch notes 9.16 just got released. I'm not in a bow tie or button up shirt, but I am just here ready to read you guys what they brought out in patch 9.16. Now, as you guys know, I did a previous video about all the Hextech stuff that are coming in. So I'm going to go back through some of the stats that I've already read out in my previous video. If you guys haven't checked that out, I will pop the link down in the description below. I went through a whole bunch of stuff about Hextech and what they're going to do and their abilities and how they do a whole bunch of stuff. And in this patch, it actually clarifies some of the stuff that I thought was going to happen. Now, in this video, I'm going to go run straight through it and read bit by bit and explain what each one does, and that way you guys get a better understanding of what's changed, what's not changed, and what's been buffed and what hasn't been buffed. Let's get straight into it. There's a little bit to go through as it's one of the bigger patches, and as you guys know, every second week they bring out a big patch and then a small patch every week after that. So this is a big patch, 9.16, and obviously the next patch will be 9.16b, which will be the smaller version, which will be a couple of adjustments here and there. But there is a couple of adjustments in this one. So as you guys can see above me, we've got a whole bunch of new origin systems, traits, champions, a whole bunch of stuff to go through. So firstly, let's have a look and see what we got here. So it goes through some of the Hextech stuff here. I won't read that. If you guys want to read it, I'll pop the patch notes down below so you guys can read through it yourself if you guys wish to do that. So let's get straight into it. Hextech Origin, this is what we went through earlier. Hextech champions are strong and serve their own purpose, but together they will give some counterplay to items. As you guys know, Hextech removes items for a certain amount of seconds. It disables them, doesn't get rid of them. It just holds off for a bit. Now the trait is to throw a bomb at an enemy unit with an item, and disables all items in a 1 to 2 hex radius for 8 seconds. Now, I think it's only 1. I don't think it's 2, that's too big and too broad of a radius, but I'm pretty sure it's anyone around that unit that the bomb gets thrown at will disable it for 8 seconds, which I didn't know that. I thought it was individual units. Like it would just disable one individual unit with an item, but it surrounds anyone around that unit as well, which is pretty OP for 8 seconds. And as you guys know, if you get full Hextech, it's like 15, 16 seconds or something like that. So it's quite large, which is... Hextech is going to be quite good if anyone's fully stacked and got some decent items, and you're going to really be unfortunate if someone has Hextech right at the end game. That's going to be really upsetting. Anyway, so you're going into Camille. I went through all the stats and stuff as well. So Camille, obviously, I went through each ability in my previous video. I won't go through too much of this. As you guys know, Camille's the 1 gold champion, Jace is the 2 gold, Vi is 3 gold, and Jinx is 4 gold. I'm not going to go through what they do. I already did that in my previous video. If you guys want to check it out, like I said, down in the description below. We'll get straight into systems and start getting through all the changes and buffs. This is what they brought in. You guys can check that out. Okay, straight into systems. Matchmaking. We've improved how the player matching works to prevent the sneaky scenarios where you would face the same player or ghost army 2 or more times in a row. Now, this should never almost happen. So this happened. I remember recently, I've played 4 or 5 games with people that are like 2 divisions above me. And I played them regularly, and there was like a group of them, so this is pretty good. Obviously, I think they're going to try and stop similar, like, you playing the same person twice, which would be good. I think that's pretty good. Not that it really mattered, it's based on skill, really, or RNG, so I don't really think it made too much of an issue, but playing the same person twice in case they're toxic or something like that would probably be better not to verse them again. So cool, right, did well there. URF overtime mode. Now, this is completely new. I was not expecting this to come out. I quickly had a quick glimpse over this before coming into this video. Now, I didn't think that this was going to happen. Now, you guys know about the draws and how frustrating draws can be and blah, 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 blah. But now, this is going to be a whole change to draws. I don't think there's going to be another draw. It's going to be very unlikely to get a draw now. So as you guys know, we don't like draws. They aren't fun. So now 30 seconds into the every battle. So that's not like a certain stage. Every battle, early stages, all that kind of stuff. You're going to kick in overtime, which speed things up for 15 seconds. Now, reading this alone, I thought, okay, maybe they're just gonna like fast forward play for a little bit just to see, give everyone a chance to use their natural abilities and, it just speed it up for a little bit and gives the game pretty much an extra 30 seconds in a space of 15 seconds. So like 2 times the speed, and you get like another half of it in 15 seconds. No, that's not right. That's not what they're doing here. They're actually for 15 seconds. What do they mean by speed things up? They're actually not fast forwarding the play. They're actually giving buffs to every unit. So 30 seconds in enemy play, overtime bonus will be activated. This will increase 300% attack speed, 200% ability damage, 66% cooldown reduction duration, healing, and 30% increase in affection towards. So healing reduction. That's kind of, so if you had Warmogs, it would be reduced to stop people from healing and all that kind of stuff, such as like Noble buff. So it'll stop Noble buff late game. In overtime, it'll actually reduce Noble buff and all that kind of stuff, so it makes people die faster. So if you're just surviving off Noble buff early game, just to get a draw out of this, then that is going to be your biggest weakness right there. That is going to stop healing buff from Noble really early game. So that's going to help out a lot, because a lot of the time, most early game situations are Noble buff, or someone's dropped a Warmongs and a Mordekaiser or a Rek'Sai and they just keep healing, or a Lulu or something, and they just keep healing, and it's just like, no one's going to win this fight. So that's pretty cool. But the whole attack speed and ability damage is nutty, because you imagine like Ranger's late game, if it goes on for a while, 300% attack speed. That is an ability damage. That is huge. Like, that is going to be some serious damage. Like, if you don't have no healing and you're all damage, it's going to be pretty crazy. But most games late game don't really go for that long. It's mainly early game in my opinion. But anyway, let's move on. That's pretty cool. That's really, really cool. Rank changes. Yeah, so the rank changing system is looking pretty good overall. Even so, we're taking stock and making a few turning adjustments. Especially a couple of bugs and inconsistencies made a little more forgiving than we intended. You'll now almost always be demoted if you lose LP in any game you start at 0 LP. Now, that was pretty much self-explanatory these days, to be honest. That's happened a lot now. We don't really need to get into that. As you guys know, I've been up and down ranks a lot, but I'm still in plat. I'm still pushing diamonds. But yeah, I've been up and down ranks a lot because of that, but that's changed a lot now. But this is another thing. Additionally, Grandmaster and Challenger players who demo will now skip Master. So I'm assuming that, I didn't get that far, but I'm assuming that like Master apparently, so now you'll skip Master and go directly to Diamond 1. This is due to some funky situations at the top of the ladder, making it almost impossible for Grandmasters and Challengers to demote. So once you get there, it's almost impossible. This is what Riot's saying. Almost impossible to be demoted, which is pretty crazy, because I know a lot of people got there early on and have not deranked since. So if you want to read more about these changes, blah, 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 you can click the post here. Cool. We're not going to go into that. As I said, everyone will now be demoted if you lose LP. Yep, that's what I said. Grandmaster Challenge players who demote will skip down to Diamond 1. This also happens in League of Legends. Wow, okay. That's cool. Just make sure I didn't miss anything for changes based on optimization. No. Okay, player damage. We have made some changes in player patch 9.15. As you guys know, we took less damage now early on. We're not losing 20 health a game at the early stages. We're not getting knocked out in the first 5 rounds. But it led to games being longer than intended, especially when fights were close. So this is what so we're making the adjustments overall. Damage should still be less than at launch. Okay, so yeah. So they probably did less. So now you're gonna take a little bit more damage by the looks of it each round. So each stage, you're gonna get an extra 2 damage, 3 damage, 4 damage, 5 damage per round. It'll start to knock you out a little bit. So that'll be pretty good. Brawlers are quite strong. Yeah, they are. They're overpowered right now. So they're getting their bonus health from 4. So most people don't go 6 brawlers. We haven't got that far yet. I think even with Vi now, I think we can get 6 brawlers. So that is going to be a big reduction at full brawlers though. And obviously now it's 100 at most. Most people get 4 brawlers from previous patch, but yeah. So then that's 100 less health bonus per unit, so it's 400 less health you have to take out, which is good. Demons. So the redesign the trait bonus to almost be mana, instead of mana drain, it's mana steal, almost, in hindsight, I think here. Demons drain mana, allowing them to cast their spells faster. So it's now mana steal instead of mana drain. So, yeah, demons' basic attacks have a 40% chance to burn 20 mana from their targets and return 15, 30, and 45 mana to the attacker. So, this will be, obviously, 2 demons, 4 demons, and 6 demons. So 6 demons, you actually gain 25 more mana than what you burn. I'm not sure if they're going to change that, because it doesn't say that on 6 you'll actually drain more than 20 mana. It just says you'll only drain 20 mana, but you'll gain 15 at 2, 30 at 4, and 45 at 6. That's still, Demon's got a massive buff. That's a big buff. Because as you know, Aatrox being able to, Ult faster is pretty crazy, and then you've also got Varus and Brand and Morgana. So allowing them to ult faster is going to make demons a lot more powerful. Ninja should be strong single units. Right now, but they're not getting there. We're buffing their trait and some of their individual champions. So now bonus damage per ninja has been increased by 10. Okay, a little bit of bonus now for the ninjas out there. Is anyone who's a Zed fan or any ninjas, early ninja fans? Pretty good there. So now Zed's going to get a bit more of a buff. Nobles are still underperforming. Underperforming? I guess early game they are, yeah. Bigger changes to that. Small bump. Bonus armor magic resistance now from Noble is gone from 60 to 70. Wow, okay. I mean, that's a little bit more of a buff to make them a tad stronger. Not more powerful, just a tad stronger. In the sense of being more of a tank. Sorcerers, yeah, Sorcerer got a buff early now because everyone knows we go 3 Sorks instead of 6 because 6 Sorks are pretty hard to get. And they've changed it now from early on. They've nerfed it a bit by 5%. It's still pretty good. I don't think it's much of a buff, 5%, but it's still pretty good. Wild is now underperforming. Wild's been horrible. So now that their attack is going up by 12%. So now full Wild will be interesting to see. Allowing everyone to have 12% per stack. Cool. Okay, champion ones. Tier 1 champions. This will be interesting. Elise has got a health increase and her Spiderling's attack speed. Elise has always been underrated. Sorry, not like literally bottom tier champion. In all honesty, I don't really think Elise is all that great. You never see Elise like end game, anything like that. Elise is just like really poor performing champion. I think maybe what would be cool to have on Elise is maybe like a burn. When she attacks, it burns a little bit, so she maybe like does like a poison. But I don't know. At the moment, she's just not doing much damage at all. Besides adding more champions to just diffuse your other champions from being hit. Maybe that's what her thing is. I don't know. Kha'Zix now, no isolation damage, so he's been reduced damage now for Kha'Zix since they brought out true damage. So that's probably a bit better because I know that true damage was just dealing so much damage when this was isolated. Mordekaiser, no longer cast ability when there are no enemies on range. This happened to a lot of champions. Not just Mordekaiser. This happened to a lot of champions. Like Cannon and all that as well. Now always heals units. Okay, so now Nidalee's not the lowest health in your team. So now always heals 2 units when she transforms. Previously she would only heal herself if she was the lowest health in your team. So she would always heal 2 people, whether it's the 2 lowest health, right? So if she's the lowest, she'll heal someone else. If she's not the lowest, she'll heal 2 other people and not herself. I think that's pretty cool. I like that. I think that's cool. It gives Nidalee more of a reason to have early game. Cool. Vayne's attack speed got lowered. Yeah, cool. Her ability damage got increased. Interesting. Yeah, 12% of max health. Wow, 16% at level 3. Woo! That's pretty crazy. Give her a couple of rage blades, should be popping off. Okay, tier 2 champions. Braum got a health reduction. Lysandra got some mana requirements down. Lysandra is one of the probably the least favorite Glacial Elementalist in my own opinion. Probably the worst one out of all of them. She's just not powerful enough in my own opinion. But now her mana cost has been reduced, so that's good. Lulu now has got her ability, like a healing on her ult, has now been reduced at level 2 and 3. So that's good. Seems some pretty crazy Lulus out there. Zed's health has been increased, his attack speed has been increased, and his damage has been increased. Wait, plus the... Wait, what? The ninja buff, wait. So he now gets an extra 70 ability damage, bonus attack damage, and power when he's the only ninja. Plus, wow, Zed's gonna be probably the most powerful assassin now, with the ninja buff being buffed and his attack damage being buffed, like level 2 and level 3. So Zed is going to be powerful as all hell. More of attack speed, more health as well. Zed, looking forward to see some Zeds out there. Alright, tier 3 champions. Aatrox no longer casts ability. Yeah, that's another one I was saying before. There were a few champions that were doing that. Evelyn now prioritizes her current target with her ability. No longer casts when enemies aren't around. Thank God. Because it's such a waste. You finally build up your mana and then you waste it on no one, which is kind of pointless, and it can really make you... It literally can make you lose the game. It literally can make you lose the game. So that's probably not what you want to do. Cannon, yeah, same thing again. Cannon was the same thing, and Shyvana's Leap AI improved to better kite away from a target. So we knew that, like, whenever Shyvana gets up a mana and she ults into the dragon, that she jumps away from a target. Now that sometimes can jump towards enemies. I think now she kites the furthest away, like the complete opposite away from the furthest champion. I think that's what she does. But it's better kiting, so she gets away from a target a lot better. Because I know sometimes she'll literally ult into the enemy and they'll just attack her and she dies like instantly, but as soon as she ults. Akali got more damage. That's cool. That's base damage though. I don't think that's actually ability damage. So that's probably not going to do too much. Basic attack really. Brand got more of a buff here, but so his ability got more damage on level 1, level 2, and level 3. But this is where they're bringing this in now. So now that this is happening to a couple of champions, I think. So they're starting mana. So whenever they start off, this is their starting mana. So originally, you know, Brand would start off with no mana at all, and you'd have to build up, and you'd have to get to 125 mana in order to cast his ult. Now they've increased the damage, so therefore it's 150 now, but now the first ult is going to be quicker. He'll only have to gain 100 mana for the first ult, then after that he'll have to gain 150 mana. That's how it's going to work. So Brand is going to get a starting mana of 50 on the field, and then his first ult is going to be the fastest, which is probably better in my opinion, because Brand's ult is, it bounces around enemy units, right? So if you can get Brand's ult to proc straight away, you're more likely to get everyone bunched up, because the second ult, most of the time, half of them are dead, and they're all split up, and his ult doesn't even hit maybe like one person. So I think that's probably better, that Brand ults faster and does more damage, which will allow Brand to deal more damage early on. So I'm down with that. That's cool. I think that's a really good buff for Brand. Cho'Gath has got a massive debuff. Like, that is massive. Plus a health reduction from Wild, as we've seen earlier. Brawler's got a massive debuff. Not a massive, but a little bit of a debuff. I think it's 100 health per unit at 4 stack. So, Cho'Gath has been hit pretty hard here. Early game hit really hard. 75 ability damage, 150 and 100. That's just 225. That's massive. That's a huge. I mean, getting a level 3 Cho is huge. You're most likely looking at a level 3 here, a level 2 here, but still 150 ability damage. That's a massive debuff. Huge. Karthus now. See, this is what I was saying before about starting mana. So Karthus now has more mana again for his next ult. This is good because Karthus was able to ult way too soon and do way too much damage. So this will make Karthus' ult way longer, but make his first ult the same as his original one. So it's 85. It's just exactly the same for his first ult, but his second ult will take way longer. It'll literally take 40 more mana for his next ult. Pretty much 1/3 more for the second ult, third ult. So you'll see the first Karthus ult, but then after that it'll take him a lot longer a tad longer to get off his second one and third. So that's going to help out a lot, because I know that the first one deals pretty good damage, and then like second one again, you pretty much wipe out anyone that's not a tank after that. So that's really good. Kale's attack speed is reduced, only a little bit, not by much. So Kale is still a fairly good champion out there. He's probably one of the best ones, in my opinion, late game. If you can put like a rage blade on him, pop. MF got a bit of a buff here. So her mana's been reduced, so she gets her ult off faster. 25% faster, actually. And she gained 50% more, sorry, not 50%, 50 more health. Cool, MF got a bit of a buff. So for all those gunslingers out there, MF is looking pretty good. Alright, item adjustments here. Here we go. This is what we needed to see. So Hush has been reworked. So Hush was, if you guys know what Hush was a silence. Now that has a 33% chance to prevent an enemy champion from gaining mana, we're calling it a mana lock. So Hush is now called a mana lock rather than a silence for 4 seconds. So they can't gain any mana for 4 seconds. So they can still do stuff. They just can't. I think silence was they couldn't ult. But this will actually stop them from gaining mana at all. So silence was, Hush was able to like hit them early, but they were still able to get their mana up until max, and then silence would die off, and then they were able to ult anyway. So it really was pointless. But I guess this now gives a reason to use it because then they can't gain any mana for that unit. So that's pretty good. So even if they were like half mana, they'll lock there. They can't gain any mana until they get out of it. That's probably a lot better. Infinity Edge. Got a 50% increase in critical strike damage. Woo! Gonna see some massive crits out there, I think, in this patch. With IE, that's insane. Ionic Spark got a damage reduction, now properly stacks. Okay, so now it's got a little bit more damage reduction. Locket of Solari now has been increased by 6 seconds. Okay, yeah, because we knew the buff for 4 seconds is not long. That's like nothing. It's 2 seconds. It's like a second or two before even like the first guy hits you. Like it's the first match, and then before you know it, it's gone. And it was really pointless to have it. But now 6 seconds, at least that'll last, you know, a good distance into the fight now. So that's pretty good. That's a good buff. I still think maybe even 8 seconds. Or maybe go 6 seconds and maybe even increase the shield that it gives you. I think that might even be better. Like increase the shield that it gives you rather than the duration. Like keep it at 6 seconds and maybe increase it by a little bit more. I think that'll make Locket of Solari really good for anyone that does like mad damage. And it'll help your tanks out a little bit. Morellonomicon. So now burns 20%. So that was what it originally did. It now burns slower for 10 seconds. So the burn damage, 20% of max health is now reduced down to 10 seconds. And red buff has been... Okay, so now red buff and Morellonomicons are exactly the same. One's basic attacks. So red buff is basic attacks, such as Vayne, Draven, all that kind of stuff. And Morellonomicons is ability power. Which Morellonomicons is always going to be better than red buff because some abilities can do AoE. Which will apply that burn to a lot of people rather than just one single unit. So, really good. Redemption now heals extra 500 health. That's a massive boost. But that's good. That's good as well. Static Shift now bounces to 3 units. And another 10 more damage. So it does more damage but hits 1 less person. So, I'm not sure really how to look at that. It'll kill the people faster that are in the front line, but the back line won't get hit as much. Warmog's Armor. This most likely nerfs its effects of PG. Okay, so what this means is when you get to a certain health, Warmogs heals a percentage of health, right? This won't change much at all. This is for mainly Dragon. So what happens is Warmogs heals a percentage of health over each tick. Dragon has more health than pretty much any unit on the field, right? So it would heal a percentage of that health. But now its maximum health at each tick is 400. So it won't be like 500-600 for Dragon or 700 for Dragon per tick. It's going to be just maxed out at 400. This won't really affect anyone unless you've got 6 brawlers and have like double Warmogs, and it'll probably cap out there at 400. But even then, that's a lot of health per tick. Like 400 health is a lot of health per tick. So yeah, like I said, it's mostly going to nerf is affected the PE Dragons. Yeah, so that's really good. And this is actually really, really good as well, because this will actually help with the resurrection of Dragon. So, tools are updated to reflect the function. So just interrupt abilities. Okay, so it now properly removes the grievous wounds and resurrects properly. Okay, but the resurrection health has been reduced, which is good because early game this will be like full health. Like that'll heal anyone back to full health again, and you're basically going up against another whole unit. I've seen this where people have like 2 GAs early game, and you've pretty much got 2 extra people on the field because they're unbeatable because they just keep coming back to life. That's pretty good. So that's a massive reduction on health. New drop mechanic. In rare instances, it's now possible to drop a full completed item instead of 2 components separately. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I don't like that at all, because what that's going to mean is you can't pick and choose what you want. They're going to give you full items and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's not like you get like a Rage Blade and a sword and you can go to Carousel and maybe get like something else and combine them. They're going to sometimes rarely give you... I mean, it's going to rarely happen, but I still don't think they needed to bring that in. I just think they maybe just needed to bring in like maybe better drop rates or something early game. I don't know. And bug fixes. Last but not least, the last part. Spiderlings and goblins can now probably be targeted of Frozen Heart. Oh, so okay, so they weren't getting targeted on Frozen Heart. So now their attack speeds are going to be slower by Frozen Heart. Kindred, Swain, Karthus, Shen, and Viger. Okay. Graze now probably gains range from rapid fire cannon. Okay, that is huge. So now Graves can do buckshot from further away, dealing more damage. Not more damage, but hitting more targets from further away. That's insane. You put Graves like in the second line now instead of the front line. He can hit all of them. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. What else is there? Frozen Heart no longer applies to many slows when stacked. Okay, cool. Fix some item slots not showing up or being in weird spots. Yeah, so this is this happens when I notice if you remove a champion on the field right as the game ends and these items go to the bench, they go invisible and you can't see them. And you can't use them on anyone that you put on the field. That needs to change a lot. Fix win and loss streak gold being granted after PE rounds instead of after PvP rounds. That happened before. Streak gold should be granted at the end of all PvP rounds and no PvE rounds. Okay, cool. Fix little legends having collisions after dying. Wait, what? Oh, and body blocking. Okay, yeah. Blocking players in the shared relay. Okay, cool. So that means the collision. Yeah, so now you just go through them like a ghost, I think. And you won't actually hit them and collide into them and people can push you off. Fix Blitzcrank attempting and failing at targeting untargetable enemies and therefore not casting. That has happened a few times. And Blitzcrank has a weird bug where if there's assassin on the field, he won't pull until the assassin shows himself, which I think is weird. And yeah, I think that's really strange. Because assassins will jump to the back line and be closer to him than any other unit. So I think they need to, he waits till the assassins have jumped. Anyway, guys, that'll wrap it up. That's pretty much it. A couple of big changes there. I'm not sure how I feel about the items being brought into full items, but we'll see how they go. I prefer to them being stuck on dragons and PvP items so you know what you're getting, rather than getting separate items in that kind of case. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you liked about it, what you didn't like about this new patch, and goddamn subscribe. I'm going to be pumping out more TFT content, and I'm going to be bringing out another video real soon. Anyway, guys, take care of yourselves. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Much love. Big G out.